It was 10 past 10 and I was late for class. I strolled down the corridor and casually opened the door to honours maths class. I was greeted by a stern-looking teacher. All the students had turned around to see who the rebel was. Who was the late boy coming to class? "And who are you?" said the teacher, a man dressed in slacks and a cardigan. "The name's Owen Colgan," I said. "What time do you call this?" he responded. "You're meant to be the maths teacher," I said without even having to think. The whole classroom erupted with laughter as I sauntered over to the only chair left at the front of the class. The teacher threw down his chalk, his temper getting the better of him. "Who the fuck do you think you are, young man?" he said. "Calm down or you'll pop a button in your grandmother's cardigan," I said. There was no going back now. He lunged at me with his wiry Donegal hands. "I'll have you done for murder, you fucking fat slug." "What did you call me?" "I didn't call you anything, you ditch-living bum tickler." He couldn't believe his ears. As we rolled around the ground, I landed the final verbal shot. "Don't you ever lay a finger on me again, you nose-picking, flesh-gobbling, sweaty-looking, cardigan-wearing fuckbag." His eyes filled with fire. We began to wrestle even more. A grown man wrestling a child, that was never going to be a good look. Something we'd both end up regretting. Suddenly, the door burst open. Father O'Malley walked in with his cape flowing right behind him. He picked the two of us up by the collar and threw us out the front gates of the school. "Begone," said Father O'Malley, "and do not darken the door of this school ever again." Does that mean I can't go back to school anymore, Father O'Malley?" "No. You come back in tomorrow with a completely different attitude." And he turned and left, cape still blowing in the wind. The following day, not a word was mentioned. We'd both had time to think. My teacher apologised for his anger issues, and I apologised for calling him a shirt-lifting penis pusher. He couldn't recall me calling him that, and strangely, neither could I. Hello and you're very welcome to the podcast. How are we doing? Are we well? Did we get up to much? Did we go into town? Did we get outside? I hate when people use the royal we. It's just a bit cheeky for my liking. But I just wanted to know, were you up to much during the week? What's your plans for the weekend? You going to do anything? You going trapping around the county? Are we allowed to go further than the county now? You know what I'm craving big time? A sandwich in the shop where you can walk in and just say, "I want this sandwich here." And they go in the back and they make it for you. They drop it down to you then with the coffee. I like that. That's nice. Getting someone to make food for you is the best thing in the world. It always tastes nicer. There's no effort you see from you. You just got to sit there and wait for the food to come on in. So I'm looking forward to when all the cafes open up and all the shops, and get some wraps. Even though, in fairness to the deli, of all the food that was damaged during the lockdown, the deli has stood strong. And I want to give a big shout out to everyone that works in the delis across Mayo. If you see me coming in, put a side of jambon for me, please. Because you know I like them, and I know you know that I like them. So let's stop playing games. Don't get me wrong, the other day I went in there to a deli. It was somewhere in the back arse beyond in Mayo. Had a quick scan of the deli, went about my business, came back, did a double scan. See, that's the key with the deli. Because there's this bullshit unwritten pressure that you feel when you're standing at the deli. Sometimes you're only looking at the menu. You want to know what they have, what kind of chicken they have. Do they have pesto? Do they have sun-dried tomatoes? Or is it just straight up ham and cheese, coleslaw? But you need time to gauge the deli. But sometimes there's hot shots in behind the deli and they just want to get shit done. But And it maddens me because the potential there's just amazing potential. I see some people buying the delis, firing out food, and they're just busy. But don't put me under pressure when I get to a deli. Let me decide at my own time. Also though, I will say this. I was standing in a deli there a few weeks ago for the guts of 10 minutes, to the point where I nearly walked out. Nearly. But I didn't. Just because I wanted to put money back into the economy. So I said, fuck it, I'll stay. Got myself a spicy chicken roll, wedges, and what was that thing they had? Fucking spice bag. Half a spice bag, that's all they'd left. That done me. So, big shout out to the people that work in the delis. Looking forward to getting stuck into them boys again. I was also in Belmullet. I got paint there the last day. And I got the wrong colour paint, unfortunately. So I had to go back with the paint and say, you gave me the wrong paint, mate. And he said, well, what paint do you want? I said, well, not this paint. So we went in anyways, and there's this machine in there, and they drop in a load of blue or green or whatever you're looking for, and then they'll mix it with a bit of yellow, a bit of red, then they'll stick the lid on the paint, they'll throw it into it's like a microwave, but it just it bounces the paint up and down. And then you have to stand around talking to your man, and it's kind of a bit of an awkward chat. It's kind of like, what are you up to, Ostrix? Yeah, this lockdown will be soon finished, will it? Well, yeah, you doing a bit of painting? I am, yeah. How's everything with you? Oh, shit, it'll never be the same. No, just give me my paint then and I won't have to come back. Some lad said to me the other day, he said, what are you doing in Mayo? And I thought to myself, the fucking cheek. Sure, I'm from the place. But he more so meant, what am I doing in that town? And I just said that, I got sick of the city, got sick of chasing my tail, got sick of paying boys for BLTs, got sick of drinking coffees out and about. It's great crack. But I said, not for me at the moment. And he just kind of looked at me and walked off. And I thought to myself, why did I explain myself to him? You know, this lad wasn't even from fucking Mayo, he's from Cavan. And I've got great time for Cavan people. But you said to me, what am I doing in Mayo? I'm going to go to Cavan next week and say to you, what are you doing in Cavan? See how you fucking like it. So it really goes to show you how much I was up to. Were you up to much? Did you do any shopping? Did you do any work outside the gaff? I also went for a spin there the other day. I also went for a spin today. And it was just like an aimless spin like your old lad would do. You know the way your old lad back in the day, he'd be driving around villages 10 mile an hour, just having a good look for himself. Well, I've recognised that I'm actually turned into my father. And I was just cruising around the villages, just having a good look into the fields, and just half of it's trying to take in nature, and the other half is just being a nosy bastard. And you know what? I spotted about 7 cows in the field, and 2 of them were facing one way, another 2 were facing a different way, another 2 were facing another way, and then the main cow of the herd was just looking at us like going, what the fuck are you doing around here? He was really giving beef, you know, pardon the pun, but he was looking for a bit of beef, it seemed. He just stood there looking at me and like a big old dog or whatever he was. And to be honest, it kind of scared me a small bit. Like these big beasts that we keep caged up in a field, just a bit of wire. If they decided, if they wanted, he could have just topped the fence, cow. She could have just topped the fence, came over and trampled the fucking head of me. But she didn't, because she was a beautiful creature. And maybe I shouldn't have been there judging the cow. But then I was reading online that apparently cows use the north and south poles to navigate which way they're going to be facing. They face against winds and stuff like that. And you know, I never thought about that before, because I suppose it makes sense. They're in the field all the time, and they're probably clued into stuff in different ways that I don't know about. But it was nice, because I've always worked on the farm with the old lad, and it was nice to see the cattle from a different light. Did you see Pennies? Did you see the people queuing up in Pennies at 3:30 in the morning? I just thought to myself, brilliant, get in there early, because Pennies normally day to day, right, is just so busy. For anyone that's not from Ireland, Pennies is Primark. Primark copied Pennies. I think it's an Irish company, but they have shops in Spain and different spots. They probably have shops in America. Although it's hard to get in there with those Walmart boys, they fucking run the gaff. We have Pennies, and if you want to buy clothes in Ireland, if you want to buy jocks that are sort of spin-offs of the famous jocks like Calvin Klein's, you get Calvin Classics in Pennies. Or if you want to get socks that will only last you half the year but they're cheap. If you want to get your eyebrows plucked. If you want to get your butthole bleached. If you want to get swimming togs. If you want to get a onesie. If you want to get a bag because you're going on holiday, you go into Pennies and get it. T-shirts with Rihanna on them. Stuff like that. And you can get a load of stuff for about 20 quid cash. So I can understand Pennies is a great spot. No wonder they're doing so well. But there was a queue at 3 o'clock in the morning. And apparently there was a woman there with her child. Now I don't know what the child wanted, but they were queuing since about 4 o'clock in the morning. And they got in eventually at around 6:30, 7. And they went in there and it was in. Apparently they came out with about 12, 13 bags. Shite. Absolute shite. And I've got a bit of a bone to pick with Pennies, because I do like Pennies. But you need to give me more information about how to wash my clothes when I buy them in Pennies. Anything I've washed, it ends up shrinking on me. And I had to be looking at the fucking instructions. But it shrinks on me, Pennies. And then there's me going around Mayo in a tight top with Rihanna's face in the front. Local boys laughing at me, telling me to go back to the city. I can't do that, Pennies. Sure, you can't blame them either, because this lockdown, you'd get cabin fever. And any excuse to go out and about, you'd have to go out. So Pennies, great choice. And just as the weather is slightly getting better, the government tell us, you have to stop using water. What's the story with the hosepipe ban? I never understood that now. That they'd put a ban on you using water. We're a fucking island. Why don't we just save up a load of the water, keep it somewhere, and then it wasn't even sunny for that long, government. Leo, it wasn't sunny for that long. If you weren't as busy in Phoenix Park drinking cans, you might give us a chance with a bit of water, will you? Yourself and Micheál Martin, I guarantee you. Micheál Martin is having a big bath every night. And then he's doing something that's also sick in the bath. I don't want to say it, Micheál Martin, but me and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Speaking of which, I was going to purchase a pair of binoculars there the last day. And I was thinking to myself, you know, is that something I should be buying in a shop? It looks a bit dodgy if I'm like, just going looking at things far away. I did notice though that there's a lot of people who are bird fans. I think they're not really bird fans. Like, I don't think they're into birds. I think they're into everything that's around the birds. Because if you're out in the middle of a field and you've got binoculars with you and someone comes along, naturally enough you're going to say, oh no, I was out looking at birds. And they're not going to say anything. They're like, oh, all right. Do you like the crow? Do you like the, what's the other one called? Do you like the skylark? Do you like the raven? Do you like the dove? Oh yeah, you love all them. They're brilliant, yeah. Yeah, favourites, the duck. Love the duck. Anyways, I better be off. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Good luck. And speaking of skylarks, I saw one there the other day. And they're the beautifulest creatures in the sky, apart from the crow, obviously. But this skylark, right, I heard this out chirping around me. Looked around me, couldn't see it. Looked up into the sky, and there in the middle of the sky was a skylark singing away. And then it sort of landed nice and slowly back down to the ground. And then it flew off into town or somewhere like that. But what a beautiful creature that is, the skylark. And I never seen him up close. But he's always up there in the middle of the sky, and he does a dance for the woman, I think. Or try to impress the woman. She doesn't like the gither of him. She'll fuck off as well, and he'll have to go into town then. Probably going then for a massage in town or something like that. Anyways, these things have to be done, and I suppose it's money into the economy. And what's 50 quid between yourself and the woman that works in a Taste of China on Pier Street? I've never been in there, I'm only joking. I was also talking to a friend the other day, and we were talking about how we can reinvigorate the economy, get the boom back, get the good times back, because the money is out there somewhere, but you're trying to get boys to spend it. That's the story, I believe. That's the way it works. You'll have to ask Eddie Hobbs about that, because I don't know fuck all about that kind of stuff. But I was talking to my mate anyways, and we were coming up with ideas on new industries, new ways to inject a bit of money into the economy. And I was thinking drones, right? Well, obviously not just drones on their own. Drones that have food in them. So you have a drone business. Your friend texts you the order of what they want. Just say your friend wants a snack box, right? Excuse me. You take down the name of the snack box. You write on a piece of paper, this man, just say, I want a snack box. You put your air code. Then you drive the drone to Supermax, right? Now, hanging off this drone is a rope with a little box in the bottom that's the size of a snack box. You drop it down right outside Supermax in Galway Air Square. The main fella himself, Pat, slips in the snack box. He takes out the money. There's a back purse that's made of leather, so it's weather resistant. And he slips the money in there, and then the machine goes, would you like to leave a tip? And then you're going to get a notification onto your phone, because there's an app here as well that I need to describe after. So you're going to get a notification on your phone. Do you want to tip? It's up to yourself. That's really up to yourself. It's dependent on how kind you were. And then, anyways, Pat will press a button on the front of the drone that just says, deliver food now. And then the drone will go up into the sky. Then it'll come back to me, because I'll be like the main base, and the food will have to go through me. So I will test the food. So the snack box will then arrive at my house. Okay. It'll come in a portal. I won't even have to get out of bed. I'll open up the box, give it a quick sniff, take 1 or 2 chips, maybe take a drumstick of chicken. So that's for Pat and me to discuss. And then, if I deem that food good enough, I will text the other guy in the app. He'll get a notification. Send me your air code. He'll send me his air code. I will then send him the kebab. Or sorry, no, not kebab. Sorry, I'm talking about kebabs. I'll send him the snack. I will then send him the snack box. That will go straight to his house, so it's not cold. He will then put money into a different wallet that's made of plastic, because it's on a shorter journey, so it's not as important. So he'll put the money in there. Then he'll be given a secret code as to how to put a security lock. He'll be given a secret code as to how to put a security lock on the plastic wallet. That will then come back to me. I'll also have to charge both Pat and the kebab man for the kebab. Here we go again, kebabs. I will then have to charge Pat and the snack box man for delivery, because I'm going to have to balance my books at the end of the year. Because I'm going to have to balance my books at the end of the year. Right, so that gets everybody working, everybody busy. That's half the business. Then there's a late night express button on the app, which only delivers hash. That's all it does, nothing else. Keep it down to one product, but do it very well. So you'll have kebabs flying one way, and you'll have Nodge the hash going the other way. And you'll have Nodge the hash going the other way. That's my idea. I'm looking for 100 grand from the Dragons. That's one of my many money-making schemes that I'm going to get into. That, selling cannabis, and wind energy. Because you can't get rid of the wind, baby. That's going to be the quote on the back of the van. You can't get rid of the wind, baby. And I'll be delivering wind to people's houses. We've already tested it in Sweden, and it works perfectly. We've had a load of Swedes buy up a load of Scandinavian wind. This is the key. See, it has to be local wind as well. Otherwise, transportation of the wind is going to cost a few pound. Now, tell me this, and tell me no lies. Did you have any drinks during the week? Did you sneak in a couple on a Monday, or did you Did you look after yourself? I'll tell you what I did, right? I had to write down how many beers I had because I wanted to know. I didn't want to be guessing. I didn't want someone saying to me, did you have many beers this week? And I'm like, I think I had 6, when in reality it was 14. So I wrote down here that I had 6 beers, which is the truth. So I'm happy with that. There was 3 Rock Shores, only small little bottles, and there was 3 big bottles that I got in Centra. I don't know what they were called. I think they were called Dragon or something like that, or Demon. They were regular beers, they were tasty. But I thought to myself, you know what, 6 beers is not too bad. It's about 4 or 5 pints. But I'll tell you what I kind of discovered the other day, and you can take this or leave it. Some fella said this, right? He said, if it's in the house, you will have it. Not everybody's got good willpower. If it's in the house, though, more than likely, you'll go at it. And I thought to myself, how true that is. If I have a pack of biscuits in this house, gone. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Thursday or a Wednesday or a Sunday. If it's a pack of biscuits, I will make an excuse up in my head to finish the whole pack. I shall be dead someday. May as well finish off the bourbons. Sure, who fucking cares anyway? I'm allowed to finish a full packet of wagon wheels. They're nice, by the way. And that's the problem with fucking chocolate. It's lovely. Same with beer. And beer and chocolate, oh, would you stop? But, as your man said, if it's in the house, it's going to be gone. And I thought to myself, isn't that a great way to put it? So what I've done now is, when I go into shops like Centra or Aldi or something like that, I'll get in there without thinking and I'll get out there without thinking. Because if I spend any amount of time on the crisps aisle or the sweets aisle and it gets into my head, or the drinks aisle, and I just start looking at it and I start imagining good times, enjoying a big packet of hunky-dories on the bed, sipping a couple of beers, bit of chocolate. That to me sounds great. And that's the problem. Get too used to it. So I'm trying to keep that down to once a week. Maybe even once every 2 weeks. That's the way I'm going to go. Make it a treat. Little holiday for myself. Every 2 weeks I'll have some chocolate, I'll have some beer, and I'll have a big wank for myself. And I'll stick on a bit of music and do a bit of jiving in the kitchen. It's not illegal. I don't care what the neighbours say. It's not illegal. Now this week's question. Are soulmates real? Do they exist? What's your stance on the soulmate? There's so many movies about finding the true love. You know, James Bond was always chasing the women. Tom Cruise is always in love movies. Who else is there? Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Phoebe, Chandler Bing, and even the lad behind the counter, I forget his name. But he was looking for the hop as well. They're all, like, that's the thing. Movies make you horny. TV shows make you horny. The internet makes you horny. And then sometimes you confuse the old soulmate crack or the true love with just being bloody horny. And it goes both ways. It goes every way. You know, and everyone is guilty of it from time to time. And I suppose it depends what side of the shtick you're on. Because I was on the wrong side of the shtick once. And, you know, it wasn't a good feeling, but at the same time, I had to do it. I had to get through it. I was dating a woman from France. And things were going mighty now. I thought it was going good anyway. We were going out for dinner every Friday. We'd be walking into town on a Saturday for a few pints. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, boring old shite around the house, you know yourself. And anyways, one evening, late summer, she said to me she's going to be leaving me. And I said, why, are you going into town, are you? She goes, no. I'm leaving you for good. And that was the end of that. It was good night and God bless. Moved on anyways, and looking back over my shoulder, I can see that look in her eye. Good times, good lessons. Nice to be in France anyways, good excuse. Do you believe in a soulmate? Do you think they are out there? People on the internet have different opinions about soulmates. Some people think it's brilliant. Some people think it's completely made up Hollywood nonsense. I want to believe in soulmates, but I'm skeptical. That's what someone said on the internet. So like a very shite comment to leave. I want to believe in soulmates, but I'm skeptical. Didn't even sign off on it. Gone again. Maybe that person's got commitment issues. That's part of it too. You know? Sometimes you think you're committed, but you're not. You're not doing enough. You're not pulling your weight around the house, are you? You're staying in bed, aren't you? You're not doing the shopping, are you not? Leaving the dishes there to be dirty for the next day, is it? Cop on to yourself. But still though. And then other times, you're too committed. You're buying all the sweets and paying for all the dinners. You're going into Penny's every day looking at rings. And you're about to pop the question. Top of Crow Patrick with the top off. Will you marry me, will you? You've a full speech prepared. I love you so badly. Please take these 5 rings and place them upon your fingers. That's how much I love you. This is our year. Please will you be my soulmate? Hashtag lit. That was my speech, but never got a chance to do it. Never got a chance. That's why I'll never climb the reek. That, and also it's a hard enough climb, to be honest. A lot of very loose rocks. And I'm not into that. The last thing I want to do is be up Crow Patrick with a bushed ankle. And the only one up there to save me is the priest, top of the church and top of the hill, talking away to St. Patrick. A man that was captured by Irish pirates, apparently. Never knew there was such a thing. Well, then again, though, I take that back actually, because I did know. So I'm just talking shite, really. But Grania Whale, he was a fucking pirate. One of Ireland's greatest pirates. I don't know why I'm whispering. No need for it, but I thought that might have added a bit of dramatic effect. Just trying to make it more sensual in here. Hands up who's got their top off, guys. But I will say this, right? At the same time, you can't get a hard heart. A hard heart. You don't want a hard heart, right? For 2 reasons. Both physically and emotionally. Physically, it's bad for the arteries. Emotionally, it's bad for the emotional arteries. Feelings that travel through spiritual zones. But someone said, after a whole bunch of skeptical chat about soulmates, someone said socks. And then they said socks again. They have one pair, but work perfectly with many different types. And I just thought to myself, good on you. Good on you for saying that. Fucking fair play. Because it's true. And I went in and I pulled out the drawer. And there in front of me, 38 pairs of socks. All different match. And you know what I did with them? I started matching them. But they wouldn't match for me. I had a black sock. I had a blue sock. I had a green sock. I had a white sock. I had purple socks. I had vanilla coloured socks. And I realised when I'd all them packed together again that they were all different, but they fitted perfectly on my feet. Is anybody getting this? Drinking green tea, bit of honey, slice of lime. Tasty enough. But interestingly enough, they reckon that the in-love phase, which you feel when you meet somebody who feels like your soulmate, the in-love phase, it lasts for about 1 year. Then it's gone. So for the first year, go shopping, go into town, go for food, go for a walk, go for a bit of sex, and really let the hair down. Really enjoy yourself. Be as romantic as you can. Write love poems. Hold hands in the park. Smile at each other. Whisper into their ear, I love you so much. Because after 1 year, bye-bye. After 1 year, it's no more. Sure, you might stick together. Like an old tile stuck to the wall. Like my parents' relationship. Married for fucking 70 years. In love for only 1. Oh, I promised myself today I wasn't going to cry in this podcast about that particular topic. Because I often ask my mother and father, I was like, what does it mean to you, a soulmate? And stop. We've no time for that talk. Yeah, we do. We've got all evening free. We're just in the house watching fucking Eggheads, the TV show. That's fucking shit, Dad. Change the channel. Or at the very least, let me ask you a question. What's a soulmate, Dad? Stop now with that dog. Please, Dad, open up, will ya? I know you're a tough man, but so am I. But together, we can be a pair of soft men. What do you say? Dad, put away the gun. Interestingly enough, I read the other day that wolves only have one other partner their whole life. So maybe they believe in soulmates. Then I was reading that badgers only have one other soulmate. And I thought, that's lovely. 2 badgers shagging their whole life. And then I read a different article on Google. And it said, no, badgers shagging everyone. Everyone. They're all getting a bit of it. Badgers are known around fields for being dirty fuckers, like real kinky. Calling to people's houses, just bonking. That's where the phrase, don't let the badger bonk you, came from. Anybody know that? You're walking down a country lane, you get bummed by a badger. Also, let me ask you this one. How important is sex during the relationship? Is it high on your agenda? Is it top of the league all the time? Or is it down where United are, around 6th or 7th? And Ollie's at the wheel. He's slowly moving forward because he's a shy man. And eventually we'll get there. But to be honest, there's one man I don't want to be thinking about during sex. And that's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's face. But I think it is important though. I really do. I think it's, for me, and I'm going to be honest here folks, it's at least in the top 2. At least. What number is it on the charts for you? Are you a real kinky fucker? Are you into all that kinky stuff? Or are you down the ladder and you're like, you know what? I like sex, I do it, but then I go back to my job. Or then I go back outside. Or then I get back into the car. Or then I go back on the bike. Or are you one of those people that hangs around in the bed after, talking about the good old days, smoking cigarettes, just with the feet out of the bed, but you're really doing a good stretch for yourself? Are you one of those kind of people? Someone that enjoys a good bonking? Well, you'll like this next one. They reckon that the happiest marriages are between best friends. I don't know about that now. I do not know. It's hard to know. Are people even getting married anymore? Does anyone care about that anymore? I think the whole marriage situation has sort of taken a bit of a twist. People used to get married in the churches, packed. Place would be wedged. There'd be priests up the front. There'd be altar boys fucking freaking out, running around the place, just repackaging the Eucharist. The priests would be going up and down the aisles. There'd be bishops. There'd be nuns in the corner, just DJing. Place would be wedged. The lads back from Australia just for weddings. They'd be still wearing the fucking shoes. Straight off the plane. Where's all the luggage? Fuck it. I made £10,000 last week. Are you serious? What are we doing? Picking fruit? Fuck off. That's always the rumours you hear from Australia. Massive money to be made. Everything massive. Tractors massive. Fields massive. The crack massive. I'd love to go over to Australia, to be honest, but in saying that, I'm very scared of the spiders over there, and the frogs and the snakes, and the kangaroos, and the crocodiles, and there's probably plenty more. I'm kind of wary of them, but I'd love to go over there and make sure that them boys weren't anywhere near me. I'd love to hang out with a load of Aborigines. Just hang out and have the crack. Drinking pints and just chatting. Hopefully someday. But weddings became a very big deal. And then people stopped doing them. And they decided to get married in fields and smaller weddings and private weddings. And during the coronavirus, I don't know what was going on. I don't know if people were getting married just to two people, like a Vegas wedding, like Rachel and Ross. Two folk that got married on Friends, didn't even know it. Typical Americans. And even Monica was on about it. She said it was every woman's dream to go down the aisle with the fucking thing on their head. But I think she was wrong, you know. Even though she was my favourite of all the Friends. It used to be Chandler, and then I thought, no. It's definitely Monica. Definitely. And the thing with Phoebe is some people love Phoebe. But some people hated Phoebe. Some people couldn't stand her. Everyone liked Rachel and her haircut. And Ross, isn't he so nice, isn't he? Oh, his nice haircuts and his nice clothes, and so empathetic, Ross. You wouldn't last 2 minutes in Ballina, Ross. And Joey. Come on, I can see behind the lies, Joe. You tell me that you're a struggling actor, and I'm on your side. But then you're on Friends. I remember you're on Friends and you're getting paid millions. I know the tricks that Hollywood play, Joe. They try to reel you in. They try to trick you. Tell you something that's not even happening. The Lion King, you stole that idea. That's not yours, Hollywood. Give it back to the Japanese lad that fucking wrote it in the first place. The fuck. And The Lion King, speaking of which, there's no love interest in that, actually, now that I think about it. It's just a love between father and son, which is a very powerful love. It's a very strong love. It's a love that has zero emotion. You will see it 0 times in public, but by God it's there. By God it's there. Stronger than the hammer of Thor. But that's a different kind of love. I'm talking about saucy love. Do you know that kind of love when it's a Friday and you're putting on a nice jumper or a shirt or a dress or whatever you're wearing? It's not part of the story. Let's move on. And you're putting on a nice bit of clothes and you're going down to Dicey's and you're going in there. Everyone knows you can't dance, but you're going in there to meet the woman of your dreams. Possibly on the 3rd floor of Dicey's, where all the good music is. And 250 bottles of Bulmers. Yes, please, give me 6. My problem is that I need about 6 bottles of beer inside me before I'll even step foot on the dance floor. But the problem with that is half of the fucking good work is done on the dance floor. You see people flirting all the time on the dance floor. Michael Flatley met his wife on a dance floor. Fair enough, it was in his kitchen. He's got a dance floor in the kitchen. He took up all the tiles. He said, no, I want to train 24/7, even when I'm doing the dishes. But there's a lot of good to be said about dancing, because when you can dance, people look over at you and go, Jesus, he's a good dancer. He's obviously good in bed. He's got great confidence. Where else would he get that confidence? It has to be from sex. But to be honest, the jive, I think, is only a small part of the whole puzzle. It's an important part, because I've been caught out many a time. I went to salsa classes in Dublin just to find my soulmate. I went to salsa classes in cobblestones in Dublin. There was about 25 of us, so there was always someone left out. So when I went in there full of confidence. I said to the teacher, I'm not going to be left out today, right? And he goes, I don't even know who you are. I said, you'll know me after this class. So we all paired up, and pairing up with different people, you know yourself. It's like a conveyor belt, and it's just like speed dating. But there happens to be a small bit of dancing in the background. Because you're all holding each other's hands and you're looking right at the person's face. I don't care what you say, but if you go on YouTube right now and you type in salsa dancing, trust me, you'll know exactly what I mean. Or if you want to up that game, go onto YouTube and type in bachata dancing. That'll get you. Whew. Actually, you know what? Don't watch it. Don't. Because you won't sleep well tonight. Because you will be 5 letters horny. Horny as a motherfucker. You're going to be up all night, either making love to your partner or else pulling the plums of yourself. I just want to make a note there now of this. Lads, I beg you, we need to stay away from ourselves. Pornography is not good for the brain. It's fucking tearing this world down. They're going to look back on pornography in 50 years from now and say, what were they doing? Why all that wasted time? You could be learning a language, Owen. Why am I talking to myself while I'm masturbating? Apologies, guys, I went off the topic there. But what I did want to say is I used to go to Dicey's with my Venezuelan housemates, and they're all great dancers, and I'd be just stuck in there trying to meet my soulmate or trying to meet the woman in my dreams and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, Tinder was another thing. I don't know if you use Tinder. I don't know if you use Plenty of Fish, or are you a Bumble person, or do you prefer to meet somebody in the pub? That's the way it used to be. You'd walk into a pub, you'd be all shy and scared, you'd have a few drinks, and then you'd be like, okay, might do a bit of dancing, might do a bit of looking around, might walk in and out of the smoking area 55 times, and then someone might smile at you. How are you doing? How's it going? Good, now yourself? Good, yeah. Can I buy you a drink? Sure, yeah, I'll have a gin and tonic. Oh, right, okay. How much are they? In fairness though, gin and tonics are very nice, and they're worth the price as well. So, you know, it's all dependent on what suits you best. I did try Tinder before, and didn't really work out for me because all the conversations kind of died off. It's always like, hey, how are you? Good, and you? Good. And then 3 days later, so how's tricks? They just, it's like, you know, come on. We're not playing that game, are we? We're too old for this. And then I used to use Plenty of Fish, which is basically like MySpace in that it's shite. It's like the Bebo of the dating world. Terrible. Now, I talked to some people on there. They were very nice people. But I remember talking to this one lady. I think she was from Nepal or somewhere like that. We were getting on great, talking for about 5 weeks. Then at the end of it, she says to me, I'd love to meet you. And at the time I was living in Dublin, so I said, yeah, no problem at all. Do you want to meet me outside St. Stephen's Green? And turns out she was still in Nepal. So she kind of meant we could meet maybe in a city between the two of us, which is beautiful and romantic. But I was expecting to walk 5 minutes down the road and meet the woman of my dreams. But that day I deleted Plenty of Fish. Gone. Because my only other experience with that app was I texted this lady. She said, we're getting on great. Getting on mighty. Where are you from? Brilliant. Oh, no way. A serious class. She was saying, oh, cool. You're from Mayo. I love Mayo. Getting on grand, right? She was from Malaysia. I'm from Mayo. So then just as the date arrived, So then just as the day of the date arrived, I texted her. I said, looking forward to meeting you later. Smiley face. And that was it. She said, me too. She got back to me a few minutes later and said, me too. Do you mind if I bring the parents? I thought that was some sort of silly joke she was playing on me. I mean, I'd buy the mother a drink, but I'm not buying the father a drink. So I said, is this a joke or what? Haha. And she wrote back straight away, no, haha. So I said, well, what's going to happen? What are we doing? So then she said to me, I'll never forget it, the 4 of us will go for a walk. I was like, what? The four of us are going for a walk? And I was like, it's nice to be nice. But I didn't want to date the parents. Don't even know what they look like. Maybe they were sexy. Then we could talk. But I didn't really want to go on a date with the parents on the first date. I know that makes me a bit uptight. So I had to tell her, I said, I'm sorry, but I might just leave it. And she wrote back straight away and said, that's fine. And that was the end of it. And I got rid of Plenty of Fish, and I got rid of Tinder. And then my mate tried to get me back onto Tinder. He was like, oh no, you gotta try the premium. You gotta try the premium. Every night I'm meeting people. He thought he was brilliant because he was meeting people every night. And he was. Because there I was stuck in the house saying, no, I don't give a fuck. I'll meet people in the pub. And he was like, well, suit yourself. As he was putting on a new shirt. I used to love seeing him coming home early. Love it. Because he wouldn't be getting too big for his boots then. But let me know what you think. Do soulmates exist? Is it the same as true love? Please reach out to me. I'm waiting for your message. Now this is part of the show where I get to talk to you directly. It's nice that we can communicate. This is probably the most beautiful thing about the internet. Strangers connecting. We might never meet each other. I hope someday we do. And we can all talk about the questions and the problems and, the ups and downs that we have in life. And we can say, you know what? We gave it a bloody good go. So we did. Last week I was asking you about phobias. And I got loads of phobias in. Some people were scared of hard work. Some people were scared of spiders. Some people were scared of their granny's teeth. There was loads that came in. So thanks very much for all those. I got another few in since then. One lad called Kevin said, my wife has a fear of driving. And I get that because driving can be very dangerous. There's a lot of daft cunts on the road. And my father always said to me, whenever you're out driving, just think that everyone else on the road is an idiot. Because there's a lot of shite drivers out there. So I can understand your wife, her apprehension about getting out there on the bypass. But trust me, and you can tell her I said this, Kevin, when you are on the bypass and you're moving around 60 or 70 kilometers an hour and you have the window down and the radio on and the shirt open, there's no feeling like it. No feeling at all. And if you're having a coffee and you stop into Apple Green, you've got yourself a little scone. Oh, the Lord save us. The Lord save us, Kevin. So get her into the car, strap her up, and please God, she'll be a good driver. What else we got going on here? Everyone seems to have a fear of... I was reading, by the way, it seems everyone's got a fear. Everyone's got a fear of something. Now, let's not confuse fear and phobias, because apparently, like if you're scared of, I don't know, fucking jumping off a board into the water, or from a high cliff, into the water, that's a fear. But if you have a phobia, that means it affects your whole life. So that, you might be sleeping at night time and you might be like, fuck, can't sleep. So that's the difference between those two. There's a nomophobia, a fear of not having phone access. That's a fucking new one. I get that feeling sometimes when my phone dies. I get really antsy and I'm like, fucking hell, I need to get my hands on something. There's a part of me missing. And it takes hard work. But think about the amount of times you check your phone every day. Must be 60 or 70 times at least. I got an app on my phone before to trace how much time I was on the phone. I was so guilty. I felt so guilty when I was on the phone. I felt so guilty when I was looking at the app that I got rid of it altogether. Couldn't face my own demons. There's another one called anatiaphobia. And this is an unusual one. And it's at any point in your life, you feel like there's a duck or a goose watching you. Could be from right up close, could be even in a different country, could be different continents. So that's a weird one. It's a weird one because ducks and geese, they're not the scariest of animals, but I can kind of see where you're coming from too. I'd never trust a swan anyways. They're a bit like a Protestant goose. So I would be wary of those. Ducks, I could take them or leave them, but I'm not scared of them. But now if you're asking me what kind of bird, fish I'm scared of, well, it's not really a fish, but it's a chicken. I'm kind of scared of chickens. Because if you have a good look at a chicken, they look a small bit like mini Tyrannosaurus Rexes without the hands. Check them out next time. Go on Google now, please, and type in chickens. They look at the spitting image of Tyrannosaurus Rexes. And apparently there's a bloodline between the two of them, but I don't believe it. I do not believe that for a fucking minute. Soulmates. Do you think they exist? It was kind of 50-50 between all the responses. Plenty of lads on Instagram said to me, let me see. Some lad on Instagram called Matthew said, big load of shite, don't exist. Another lad called Aaron said, don't believe in them for a second. Alan said to me, I think that a soulmate's the last person you end up with, no? Alan, it's hard to fucking know, because you could end up with somebody that you're not even into. You could be married to someone your whole life and you mightn't even like them. So it all depends really, it's a tricky one, because, I personally think that there's plenty of people out there for you, but there's plenty of very sound people. You can meet someone that's right down your alley. Two, you get on well, you fancy each other, you don't annoy each other too much. You're always going to annoy each other, always. Doesn't matter who it is. But if you're friends with the person, that's a great start. But you're always going to annoy each other. It's going to be small things that you never even thought would annoy you, will annoy you. What did you do leaving the cup in the hallway? Why'd you leave the cup in the hallway? What are you doing leaving the tea bag in the cup? It's all tea-related arguments, and you realise that you're kind of obsessed by tea. But maybe you're not. Maybe it's something deeper than that you're like, fuck, I don't want myself to be happy. You deserve it, right? So Aaron and Matthew and Paul and all the other disciples, you deserve to be happy, boys and girls. I got another message in here from a lad called Daryl, and he said to me, met my soulmate on a bus to Sligo. We've been married 5 years. I'm American and she's Polish. Love at first sight. Well, Daryl, number one, congratulations. Very lucky man. Please send me in pictures of the two of you together and in various moments of passion. You could be on the couch, going for a walk, in the bed, doesn't matter, Daryl. Please do send them on. What was I going to say to you, Daryl? Fair play to you. I've met some people on buses, but I've never kissed anyone that I've met on a bus, unfortunately. There was a time where there was a girl smiling at me on the bus, but then she got off in, I think, Monaghan town. And I thought to myself, it's too much of a chance for me to get off now and say, "Sir, were you smiling at me?" And she might say no, and then I'm stuck in Monaghan town, which is a great town, but still, I've nowhere to stay. So I continued on the bus, and that was the end of that experience. But I'm glad it worked out for you, Daryl. I'm happy for you, mate. Yeah, good on you. And you met yourself a nice Polish woman, huh? Polish people. Oh, God. What can I say about the Polish people? They're like us, but they're tougher. A friend of mine used to always say to me, and he was from Poland, Marcin, his name was, "We are the hard men of Europe." And they're tough. The men are jacked, and the women are beautiful. As are Irish women and men. But I'm just saying that Polish women are beautiful. They've got that strong Eastern European look. They'd kick the shit into you if they got half a chance. And that's probably half the turn on, to be honest. And then the men. I used to work on sites with Polish men in Galway. One lad was so confident on the sites, he walked into the middle of the place that we were building. We were building the NUIG gym. And he walked in a pair of slippers. Nobody said anything to him because he was that beefy. And he was a great worker too. He'd be lifting big blocks and just doing loads of work. Pavel, great man. Great man. Miss you, Pavel. Hope you're doing well, buddy. This is the best message I got about the soulmates. Very interesting message. Let me know what you think about this, guys. Here we go. A little over 6 months ago, I met a girl on Tinder. Within a week of matching, we met up every day for 2 months. Every single day for 2 months. Wow. Then she returned to her home country of Brazil. And due to the pandemic, we haven't been able to meet. I think I love her, but never told her. Should I? Or should I wait till I see her in person? Signed, Anonymous. Christ, on a bike wearing boxer shorts. That's a tough one. That's a very tough one. So you met her 6 months ago. And I can imagine you were talking every day on Skype. And you're looking at her in the camera. And you were laughing at each other. And I hope the Wi-Fi connection was good for you. You deserve it. And you built up the bond, and you probably met the family on Skype, did you? And then you said to yourself, I might start learning a bit of Portuguese. And then you start watching movies from Brazil. I've only seen one. It's called Children of God. Great movie. And then she was asking you about Ireland. She started sending you links on Instagram and WhatsApp and voice notes back and forth. Chatting every single day. Really getting to know each other. And then the evening time, then she'd be asking you what are you up to, and you'd be like, I'm just having a cup of tea in the bed. Oh yeah? What's underneath the sheets? Never you mind. Send me a picture. Smiley face. Nothing happens until the next day. What are you up to this evening? Oh, just gonna watch a movie in bed. Oh, cool, let's watch a movie together on the internet. Brilliant idea. And then before you know it, the laptop's thrown there and you're bollock naked, showing her everything you've got on Skype. That's the new buzz. That's the new thrill. I've been there. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. It's bringing back memories. It's bringing back memories, my anonymous friend. I would say, tell her. Tell her you love her. Why not? Because if that's how you feel, speak from the heart. Talk to her this evening and say, listen, I want to talk to you. Actually, you know what? Don't do that. Don't even say I want to talk to you. Just chat to her as normal. What are you up to for the evening? Oh, brilliant. Yeah, cool. You're going out doing, I don't know what they do in Brazil. but they'll do something, don't they? And she'll tell you what she's doing anyways. And then you say, oh, no worries at all. By the way, I love you. Any other crack? No? Slip it in. Nice and tight. And then see if she sees it. And if she sees it, she'll smile back at you. And she'll be like, what did you say? I said I love you. Any other crack? No? Do it fast. But keep doing it slower every time. And if she wants to hear it, she'll hear it. But trust me, if you tell her you love her, and she ignores you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, step away from the laptop. You'll be in big trouble. I'm just saying. I've been there. I've shed a tear onto the keyboard. Are you happy now that you've got this out of me? Long distance dating, mate. It's like, if I was to describe long distance dating, it's like a frozen pizza. You can't leave it too long in the freezer, is what I'm trying to say. You need to take it out of the freezer. You need to go to Brazil, is what I'm also trying to say. You need to book a flight, get yourself over to Brazil. Probably lovely weather, cocktails. Go over there, spend a few days with her, have a great time, do a bit of dancing, eat some Brazilian food, do some capoeira, and then say to her, after 3 or 4 pints if you have to, or whatever, a glass of wine, don't even have to drink if you don't want to. Tell her you love her. Tell her I sent you. And if that doesn't work out for you, you can always go to the massage parlour on Pier Street. I also wanted to read out this other message that I got sent by a man called Jamie. I won't give his second name, but the email was this. Bit random, I know, but sure, what ain't? I grew up in the UK till age 11. I lived in Ryle, Wales. It's one of those Welsh spelt places, R-H-Y-L. It's like, you know, when you look at the weatherman and he's speaking about the towns in Wales, you're like, I never fucking heard of that place. I've heard of Bangor, Cardiff, Swansea, and never heard of Reel. But anyways, it's there somewhere. So he grew up there till he was 6-ish. Then his family moved for no reason at all to Manchester. Probably maybe your mother or father likes Liam Gallagher. A young, lost and confused boy, an only child with just my mum for guidance, was basically dropped into an unforgiving council estate. I was labelled a posh cunt quickly, and that was just for pronouncing the word torch, and not tarch, or school, and they'll say scowl. I don't know how they say it there in Manchester. Scowl. He wrote here in inverted commas, SCOOOOWL. I think that's skill. You know? Also, it didn't stop at that. Because my hair was like a fucking Take That member with the curtains and all. Them boys had pure skinheads, you know? So what happened there, I think, is that Jamie moved into a school full of tough shams from Manchester. He landed down with the bangs. Or up, I don't know which way he went. But they were all like, who's this fucking geezer? Tell you what, he's gonna get some of it. Anyways, I moved to Donegal at 11 years old. Jeez, you were around the place, Jamie. Jamie, you were around the place, so you were. To Buncrana, a lovely spot, I know a lad up there. And a lovely little town with a beautiful beach and all that jazz. But as you can imagine, I didn't fit in well either. I'm feeling sorry for you now, mate. You know what? I want to pass you on my emotional hand. Grab it, Jamie. It's for you. Jamie then goes on to say, I had a mouth on me too when I was younger, and that led to a fair few scraps like, after the disco, you know. They'd be like, there's that English prick, let's sink the head in him. So fuck me did I learn fast by. I got funny fast, you know, because it was the fastest way of making friends and breaking through barriers. I became this funny caricature that was always up for the crack, smoking jig-jags and supping pints. Man after my own heart, Jamie. Long story short, what I'm trying to say is I really want to become a comedian. Like it's my only dream, you know. I'm not good at much else, but fuck me, I can light a room up in a few minutes. You said a few other things about different bits and bobs, but you finally said, do you have any advice for me? I think you're fucking brilliant, Owen. You're the best comedian to ever come out of Ireland, and I want to know how you met it, because you have met it. You've now cracked the code of comedy, And you're the best comedian ever to ever live. Thank you very much, Jimmy, especially for the last bit. Truly means a lot for you to be so honest. And not beat around the bush with the compliments for me that you didn't say. In all fairness to you, Jamie, what you can do is, what I would say to you, you could do. It's up to yourself. Get the old Instagram page going. Get a YouTube page going. Start making some videos. Start making some sketches. And the number one thing, don't be worrying about being shite. Because we're all shite. We're all making mistakes the whole time. We're all worried that we're not going to make the right video, or we're not going to make the right move, or we're not going to eat the right food, or we're going to be scared, we're not going to meet our soulmates, we're going to have phobias of the phone getting turned off, and then we're going to miss a party that our friends are going to, so then we don't have any friends. Too many fears. If you step past the fear, as Will Smith said, all the answers are there for you. They're all there on a plate for you, Jamie. So I would say to you, make yourself a YouTube page. Make 50 videos every single day on your phone. Shite videos. Make videos about looking out the window. Make videos about making tea. Make videos about making videos. Make videos about being English. Make videos about being Welsh. Make videos about being Irish. Make videos about whatever you want. Enjoy yourself. Just be silly with them. Because at the end of the day, Jamie, right? And this is what I always remember. Someday, there could be a massive comet that will come down and smash this earth to smithereens. Now, you might get scared, Jamie, but don't. Bear with me for a second, please. That comet could wipe out everything. Every video, every song, every dance, every kiss, every pint, every look, every smile, every dog, every cat, gone. Back into the universe. Broken up into different nutrients and minerals and chemicals, back into space, back with the stars where we belong, where we were born, Jamie. Do you hear me, Jamie? I'm talking to you. I have a neighbour, Jamie. I'm finishing this, right? I have a neighbour. He's got 10 cattle. Happiest man in the world. Always smiling. Never married. Walks down the road with his sheepdog every day. Lovely fella. Always says hello. Always has a wave. What you up to today? I'll say to him sometimes. Alright, just out for a walk. That's all he does. Simple life. But a very happy life. But he said to me one day, he pointed over to a grave and he said to me, see that grave? Well, when you go to the grave, you want to leave it all on the table. He said, don't hold back for anyone. Whatever it is you want to do, you fucking do it. And he meant it too. And I said to him, but how do you mean? Should I be doing something every day? Or should I be humble like yourself at home with the dog, just relaxing? He said, do whatever one you want to do, but do it. Don't be scared. He said, I decided this life, I chose this life, this is the life that I want. If you want this life, you're welcome to it. But if you don't want this life and you want to become a comedian or a dancer or a pool player or a darts player or a swimmer or a baker or a farmer or a paved block layer or a writer or a beefcake or a squatter or a buffer or a bus driver or a chicken collector or a womanizer or a manonizer, whatever you want to do, just do it. Don't let other people stop you. That's the one thing, because people look at you sometimes and they'll be like, fuck, you shouldn't be doing that. As long as you're not hurting anyone, Jamie, go out there and do it, bye. And if you ever do make it big, don't forget to fucking mention me, you cunt. Oh yeah, Jamie, one more thing. Don't worry about making it. You already have. The fact that you're alive on this green earth means that you've met it. Everything else is a bonus. So go out there and enjoy yourself. Well, folks, that's it for another week. Thank you very much for tuning in. Much appreciated. if you ever want to get in touch with me, I would love to hear from you. My contact info is in the description, so please feel free. If you're up 3 o'clock in the morning, you can't sleep, send me a message. If it's first thing in the morning when you wake up and you feel like chatting to someone, send me a message or a voice message or a picture with a story. Would love to hear from you. That's it, folks, for this week. Have a great weekend. Have a great day. And good luck. Chat to you soon. Bye.
Hello? How are you doing? Who's this? You know well who it is. No, I don't. I was in talking to you today at the credit union. Oh, it's you, is it? Tis, I'm sorry. What do you want? I just wanted to apologise for what I did today in the credit union. That wasn't like me at all. I have to go now. I have to go into town. No, wait, please, give me 2 seconds. Please. I need this. Go on, so. When I saw you today in the credit union, I couldn't take my eyes off you. Just the way you were standing there behind the till with a black pen in your hand. It was actually a blue pen. Doesn't matter. It was the way you were holding it. It was suggestion that you were the manager of the place, and the confidence that you had. I could see the other woman on the reception was jealous. You think so? I do. I think she was very jealous of you and your power. She knows that you're head of the credit union. She wants that job, but she can't handle the job like yours, because you're the most confident woman in the credit union, Maureen. Do you really think so? I do, Maureen. I do. In fact, that credit union would not be where it is today if it wasn't for you, Maureen. You've brought that place up from the ground. Nothing to do with the other staff. It's all about you. I love you, Maureen. I love you too. Well, thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Wait, Maureen, before you go. What? Looking to get a small loan. Just 10 grand. No. So that's why you called me up? To try and smooth talk me, was that it? No, not at all, no. I really do love you. It's just, I need 10 grand. Except when the boys go on holiday. We're going to fucking Napa for a weekend, and I need 10 grand. I just can't do it. I just can't be giving out that kind of money for a holiday. Please. All the boys are gone. No, it just doesn't feel right, you know. It's like you're meant to use that money from the credit union for something like a car or maybe an extension on the house. I know, but this is an extension of my mind. To go to Napa with the boys. Please, give me 5 grand, please. Right. I'll give you 5 grand, but on one condition. What? I want you to bend me over the front counter of the credit union and pay back the loan that way.